What's up, guys? Brian Ellwood here. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm back with another episode. Today I want to tell you guys about a deal that I'm doing right at this moment and break down all the numbers for you guys so you can really see kind of the behind the scenes or what actually a deal looks like in my world, okay? I've maybe talked about a few deals before, but I want to tell you about every deal that I do. Just so you can really drill it in your head that this is possible and sort of what it actually looks like. So most of the houses I buy are in Middle Tennessee. This one's no different. It's in a little town called Columbia, Tennessee. Okay, I've already got a handful of houses there, and this is one that I am buying with my business partner, Danny. You guys have probably seen Danny a bunch in virtual real estate investing in the education business, maybe on the Facebook page or somewhere in the coaching calls. Anyways, he and I decided to start buying rentals together and start kind of a joint venture. We bought our first one together just a couple weeks ago. And this house, we paid $36,500 for it, okay? It is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's about 1,200 square feet. So it's a big 2-1. And after we got it under contract, we got a contractor's estimate, and the contractor said he could fix everything in the house for about $15,000. It needed a whole bunch of stuff, new floors, new paint. The foundation needed jacking up in a bunch of places. The roof needed to be repaired. It needed a brand new HVAC unit. So some expensive stuff, but nothing too crazy, because again, the total rehab was about 15 grand or so. So 36 to buy it plus 15 to fix it up. So we're at $51,000, right? Well, there's also closing costs, which are always, let's call them 2 grand. It's probably a little less than that, but we'll just use a nice even number. Just as far as like getting the title work done and all that. So now we're at $53,000, okay? I called my private money lender for this deal, and I said, look, here's a house I've got. Purchase price is $36,500. It needs about $15,000 in work. So I want to get a loan for around $50,000 from you to buy this and fix it up. So I was looking for all of the money basically to purchase it and fix it up. Well, the lender said, well, send me some comps. What would the after repair value be once you buy it and fix it up? And so we looked at all the comps. I sent a bunch of comps over, and I said that I believed that the value was going to be $85,000 once fixed up. And they came back, the lender and his assistant, and said, we've ran our numbers. We think it's more like 80. Okay. So we were actually really close, just about $5,000 off. And whatever they come up with basically goes. It's their money. So, they have the final say. So we set the ARV at $80,000. Once it was purchased and fixed up, clearly it was going to be worth about 80. I'm going to whip out my calculator here. 80,000 times 0.7 is $56,000. So I think maybe they were only wanting to give 65%. Let's see what that is. 0.65. It was somewhere around 65 to 70% of the ARV was the maximum that they would loan. Okay. And it ended up being like $50,000 in change is what he emailed me back and said, this is the most we'll give you on this property, $50,700 or something like that. So, I said, okay, cool. And the terms were, 12% interest plus 2 points. Okay. And it was going to be no payments, 1 balloon payment in 12 months at the end. Okay. So what that means is that, I'd paid 2 points at closing on the 50 grand that he's going to loan me. 50,000 times 2% is $1,000. Okay. So that was, added to like the fees that we had to pay at closing. And then the 12% is 12% of the 50K annualized. So 50,000 times 0.12, that's 6 grand, okay, in interest. And this is an interest only loan. None of the payments or anything Well, there aren't any payments, but all the payment, goes towards the interest. So again, 12% interest on 50 grand. I'm just using 50 to make it nice and even. It was like 50,000 and change. But that's $6,000 in interest. The cool part about this loan package, though, like I said, is there's no monthly payment. There's just one big balloon payment in 12 months. Okay. So in 12 months, because we did this loan like 2 weeks ago. So in 11 months and 2 weeks, I'll have to pay $6,000 to this lender all at once as a balloon interest payment. Okay. But for now, no payments. And we closed a couple weeks ago. They wired in, remember they're going to loan me $50,000 something. Purchase price was $36,500. So they wired in the $36,500 to buy it. And they also wired in, I think, $6,000 extra, which went into my rental account. And that was the first disbursement of the additional money for the rehab. So if they're going to loan me an extra like 15 grand to renovate it, like in this case, they're not going to give it to you all up front. They're going to give me 5, and then they're going to want to see some pictures and videos of the progress, and then they'll issue another 5 pictures and videos, and then they'll issue the final 5 towards the end. That's how a smart lender does that. If there's rehab funds involved, they issue it in disbursements based upon completion, proof of completion. Because otherwise, in theory, they could give me all the $15,000 and I could just blow it on a new car or go to Vegas or something, right? And so they want to be safe, and so that's sort of how that looked. So we have a contractor over there. He's going to do the work. He's already started, and he'll get paid kind of as the project goes along and as the lender releases those payments to me. So once it's finished, it'll rent for $900 a month, be in it for, like I said, 50 something thousand in total. Purchase price plus rehab plus closing costs plus loan origination fee, all that stuff, right? And we won't be making any payments to the lender because it's a balloon interest payment. Okay. So if you think about this, if it's a 12-month loan, right, to where I have to pay that $6 grand back all at once in 12 months. Like I said, it's 12% of 50,000. I bought it 2 weeks ago. Probably another 6 weeks from now, it should be both renovated and then rented out. Okay, so that'd be a total of 8 weeks or 2 months. From purchase to getting it renovated and then rented. So 2 months of the 12 will have passed. Then, for the next 10 months, until that $6 grand is due, I will be renting this place out and collecting rent on it, $900 a month for 10 months, okay? That's $9,000 in gross revenue. Now, of course, tax, insurance, property management fee will come out of that. If there's a vacancy or if there's any repairs, that number will go down, right? But still, I should at least have something like $6 grand or so left over. Ironically, that's how much I'm going to owe the lender in 12 months is $6 grand. So by the time I have to make that balloon payment to him for $6,000, I'll have collected at least that much in rent payments over the 10 months that I've had it rented. Okay. And furthermore, I believe that it's going to have gone up in value in an additional amount. I don't know how much, call it another 10 or 15,000 over the next year because it's in an area that's improving and stuff. So really, I can go to that same lender or another lender and get a new appraisal and get 70% of that amount for the second loan. So if the new appraisal, let's say instead of coming in at 80, comes in at like 95 times 0.7, I can get 66,000, as my next loan, right? But I only owe 50 grand to the original guy plus the 6K in interest, which would be 56. So technically I might not have to come out of pocket at all. I could use the equity in the property to pay off the original loan plus the interest, refi into another loan for 5 or 10 years at a lower interest rate, and then just sit there and collect cash flow for the next, foreseeable future. And I love doing deals like this where you get sort of like more expensive money up front to acquire it, but you get all the funds for purchase plus rehab, and there's no payments for a year. And then, you refi towards the end of that 12 months with the same lender or some other lender or a bank or whatever into more favorable terms once you've improved and stabilized the property, and the value's gone up. And that's it, guys. That's literally like how it works. And I know you guys are sitting there thinking still like, well, that's cool, Brian, but I don't know anybody who lends money at those terms. You've got to start taking action. You got to start calling these people and asking them. You should be on the phone grinding, like for multiple hours every week, building your lender list, if you don't have one already, because that's sort of like the fuel that runs your acquisition of rental properties, right? You have to be financially backed. The reason I don't grind super hard to grow my lender list anymore is because I have a steady, set of lenders that I can go to, and I've never really had a problem getting financing, lately at all. So I hope that helps, guys. I just kind of wanted to share the numbers behind the deal that we're doing right now. Let's see, by the time this episode airs, it'll be, next week on Thursday. That will be August the 2nd. And so if you're listening to this, it should be August 2. I'll be doing a Facebook Live at the actual house I'm talking about tomorrow, August 3rd, Friday, August 3rd, with Danny. We've already kind of planned to do that. So tune in. That'll be on the Virtual Real Estate Investing Facebook group. If you haven't joined that yet, definitely search for Virtual Real Estate Investing. Find that group on Facebook and join it. And then lastly, guys, if you are interested in learning how to get your first 12 rental properties as fast as possible, and do it virtually and do it without having to have your own money, register for my weekly web class where I tell you exactly how you guys can learn to do that. Go to virtualinvestingclass.com to register. Promise you guys will not be disappointed. Hope to see you there, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.